This plan could have backfired on me at any moment. So please don't try this at home.
We must face the moment of truth, baby.
Grace and peace, family. How do you find a good woman? How do you find the wife that's going to be the keeper or a mate? I think this is applicable to sisters as well. Our brother Zed at the Coffee Pod, he gets into it here. He reacts to this gentleman who put up this video sharing, listen, how he really tested and found the one he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. There are all kinds of tests we put people through. I don't always recommend all of them. And also, just for the record, family, I'm going to react to this video and then at the end wrap it up. But always keep this in mind, that I am not stuck in any particular kind of tribe. So I don't always believe or react or agree with everyone that I react to or even the people that I listen to. And I do recommend the Coffee Pod. Please give that brother a listen. I enjoy it. And I'm going to put the full video in the description. But without further ado, come on, let's get into it.
You can't handle the truth.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
How I knew she was the woman I wanted to marry. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
I just heard this conversation on the radio, so I had to bring it to TikTok.
Let's hear it.
Fellas, stitch this. What did your woman do different from the others to make you say she's the one? I'll go first. Before I reached the age of 22 and met Danielle, I went through a lot of toxic relationships. And when I met Danielle and she wasn't nagging, complaining, fussing, fighting, I was like, yeah, she must not like me.
That's crazy, right? When you think about a brother or a woman that's been through so much stuff and somebody actually that's interested in you but doesn't give you drama, you wonder if they like you at all. That is a hint, family. To what degree, here's a question for you. To what degree do you still associate pain and love? We need to resolve that, and it's best to resolve it before you get married.
Then I seen her cry when I had to leave her mama's house. We got her. And judging by my past relationships, I decided to give her a little test. After 3 months of dating, we went out bowling with some friends. And let me tell you, fellas, this plan could have backfired on me at any moment. So please don't try this at home. I had told Danielle I had just paid all my bills. I couldn't go and I was broke. She wanted to really spend time with me, so she said, I got us.
Whoa! I want to pause right here because personally, I can relate to this brother right here. I know that generosity is a big, big thing. Just being able to just say, hey, you don't got it, I got it. Just be generous. Again, you know, you think about this relationship where they were at. He was in a place, we don't know exactly where he was in regards to being. Obviously, the relationship started. He was living, he said, in the mother's house. The woman was sad to see him go. There was something that was being developed there. She also let him know, like, hey, you mean something to me. She wasn't afraid to do that. And he was like, oh, well, what's going on here? And then, again, he comes to this place where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a test. Now, what's the test? The test is whether or not she will be there, ride or die. She will be and respect him when he has a moment when he's down. How do you treat people when they're down? It reveals our character.
So, of course, being a gentleman, I said, you know what? You get to bowling, I go ahead and grab dinner. She not only paid for bowling, but we got to the restaurant. She folded up a $50 bill and slid it to me under the table. I've only seen this done by my mother and aunts. So, yeah, I was about to get on one knee right then and there. And not only did she pay, but she did it very discreetly.
Why did she do that? Respect.
Yeah, boy.
So that he would not lose shame. Now, again, that doesn't mean she's catering to someone with a fragile ego. That's not the point. You respect, you honor, you cover those that you care for, that you love, that you see a future with. That's what she was doing. She was giving him the opportunity to say, hey, I do recognize that you are the man that I'm choosing, and I want everyone else here to know you are the man. No one needs to know about what we're going through, what you're going through. This is between us, God, and you know what? I'm going to take care of you because I know in the future you're going to do the same for me.
The very next weekend, I kid you not, I went ring shopping with my best friend. Now she in my house sucking down all my money. Fellas,
Oh, man. All right, guys. So that's a pretty cool story there. So he had a woman who proved that she would stick with him through hard times. What do you guys think of that? As always, we're going to check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment.
Key thing, right? And I think that's where the challenge is for a lot of folks who are dating. The older you date, the harder it is to come around to, have these kinds of situations where you can see whether someone is really going to be generous, really got your back, really there for you. That becomes a challenge the older we get. The older we get higher expectations. We expect more from the people that we're rocking with. People need to consider linking up when they're younger. Mothers are telling and grandmothers are telling women, hey, don't get serious in a relationship until you get your money right. Wait till you're much older, till you have your college degree, and you pushing your fortunes there, because the older a woman gets, the harder it is to have children, right? On the flip side now, we have so-called, again, manosphere gurus that are telling brothers, don't get hitched, don't even consider marriage until you're 35 and you have sown all your oats and done all this stuff while living. I'm like, family, that is not, neither extreme is good for civilization, let alone a blessed and prosperous soul that doesn't require some real reconstruction and renewal. And let's hear from our brother Zed as he reflects on what was said, as well as a few of the comments.
He says she made an investment in her future. Yeah, it sounds like he was a responsible guy and got on his 2 feet. And she saw and believed in him. And I think for most guys, they sit there and they're like, okay, that's the type of woman I want, and I want to wait for that type of woman. Hate to burst your bubble, man. For the majority of men out here, waiting for this type of woman is not a realistic plan. And when I say this, guys, I want to be very careful, because it sounded like, from what I heard, he didn't have his own spot in the beginning. He was staying with her mom, and they took him in.
Right.
So before she saw the fruits of his labor and what he was capable of, she chose to stick by his side. She said, you know what, I see potential in you. Right. Does that happen? Yes. Yeah. For most women, you need to get together first. And I'm not telling that man that's what he should have done. I'm telling men out here who are waiting for this woman who's going to come while they're living in their mom's house and be like, I believe in you, babe. Don't worry, I'll pay for dates. It's amazing when it happens. Today's day and age, the advice, the plan that works is for you to figure yourself out financially first. At least be able to, get your own spot, whatever. And then you become a more attractive partner. But that's not what a lot of guys don't want to hear. They don't.
No, he's not wrong about this. And this is again, this brother was fortunate. That's why I said when men and women, when they're younger, I think there might be a little bit more leeway, some grace, so to speak, but you can also see where people are at. Again, I think that he's absolutely right. A man should not be waiting around. It's kind of weird that for generations we've tried to discourage women from sitting around waiting for Prince Charming, right? And I think it's valid, right? A woman needs to discover and unpack her gifts, talents, and abilities, while indeed she engages life, and not simply wait around for Prince Charming. That being said, again, a man needs to also make sure that his sense of vision, his career, his health is in order. The care and feeding of his soul is in order. And there are a lot of men and women that are living in their parents' homes because of the economics in the city they're in, because of the career path they've chosen. Again, technically speaking, we're going to have another video on that. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but the older you get, the more likely you're going to meet a woman who's not going to say, hey, why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Was this not a goal for you? Was not having your own apartment a goal? Was not having your own, again, being able to pay your own rent do for you, a goal for you? How are you going to continue to increase financially? These are realities. And this is why we need to help each other as men and help men. And again, women, families need to encourage their sons and that they need to get into a place in a space where they have as goals things they want to have, things they want to do, places they want to travel, and most of all, the person they want to become. These have to be lifetime goals for men.
Like that coffee.
I hate coffee. It's so strong.
But who knows, maybe you might be lucky, right? Run into a woman like this. Another comment from another woman says, I've done that and it wasn't appreciated. It was taken advantage of. Somebody else responded back to her and says, so the Lord showed you that he was not the one. Another comment from another woman says, you said paid the bills, meaning you're responsible and not selfish or childish. That is true. He's taking care of himself. She thought you deserved a treat for working hard. Another woman responded, exactly.
Right.
The problem that, listen, what these women missed is that she believed in him before he got to the place where he was responsible. And maybe he got to the place where he had his own spot, was paying his bills, etc. Most women today in that situation with that type of financial hardship, they're not sticking around.
No,
they're not sticking around. And again, what I'm trying to say is this is the difference between.
And again, why is that? And it's not a condemnation. I'm personally I'm not condemning women at all for what he's saying. I don't think Zed is condemning either. I think he's just calling it for what it is. I think it has to do with, again, the woman's desire to be able to have a place of security, have a place of being able to say, hey, I can trust my husband to take care of me and the children. Again, there are not necessarily unreasonable requests and desires. That's just a reality.
We must fearful moment of truth giving.
Family, there you have it. What do you think? What are your thoughts about this situation, this scenario? I will say to you that it's a lot easier if you're wise and guided by wise folks to test naturally the people that, again, if you're a man, the woman that you are interested in, and vice versa, the woman that you are interested in, the woman's interested in a man, she wants a husband. Again, there are certain things that will reveal themselves. How a person handles crisis, how a person handles conflict, how a person handles change, how a person handles and deals with accountability, authority. These are things to look for in a mate. And just a reminder to my brothers, and just to say, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. That brother made a great video, and I pray that that brother prospers in his marriage relationship. And I just want to say, some of you Christians will be like, listen, I ain't trying to hear that. That brother was probably living with her before marriage. They weren't living right. Family, I don't know. I wasn't there. I still think the principles still hold. That a woman who is feminine, beautiful, and inspiring, and that a man needs to be, again, he needs to be confident, intelligent, and assertive. That's right. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. I still appreciate some of the things that I've learned from him. But I will say that what you saw again with that brother was that he found himself a wife. And he found himself a wife, and he has obtained favor. And she was a wife, generous, giving, kind, supportive. And he was a man that was on the grow, that was going ahead and getting set to thrive. He was putting in the work. He had a vision for his life, and he was doing everything he could to get there. And I pray that they get there together. And again, salute to Zed and the Coffee Pod. Again, family, I pray that you enjoyed yourself here, because you know what?
Now you know the truth.
Leave a comment, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video, and let's continue to get it here at 180 Truth.